I decided for myself that I no longer wanted to experience this life experience. Essentially, I was in a space where I'm like, I'm ready to end it all. And although I have been in that space many times before, this time was different because at that point I had created a plan and I had also written a letter. And this was this year, and shortly after I had been fired from that job, right? For those of you who are new here, and at the beginning of this year, I was fired from a 9 to 5 after 2 weeks of working there, and after not having worked a traditional 9 to 5 since 2019. So you mean to tell me I hadn't worked traditionally a 9 to 5 position since 2019, and then I got a position this year in 2026, and 2 weeks later, I was fired. At that point, I was really like, well, God, what you want me to do? I was really defeated. I was really destabilized. It was just a lot of emotions and a lot of insecurities going on within me. And so even though I understood at that time my purpose for having that experience and what needed to be done within that, like, organization, right? My purpose was very, like, intentional. I was placed here for a very specific reason. I still was trying to understand for myself, like, okay, well, now what am I supposed to do? So after I had, written the letter, and I was just experiencing so much pain. I remember I went to bed that night and I was like, listen, and this is how I be talking to God, because we like, for me, like, I just need to be my most authentic self. I'm like, listen, okay, like, I don't know what you want me to do. I don't know why this has occurred, but I do trust that everything is always working in my favor. And if you can just give me a sign, give me a message, give me some clarity on what you feel I should do next, then I will feel confident enough to go forward, because I know that I have the support always by, my spiritual team. And so I went to bed that night and I woke up. I want to say I woke up in the middle of the night. It wasn't even like a full night's rest. I want to say I probably woke up at about 4 a.m. And, for those of you who are not aware, like, the hours between like 3 and are like 2 and 6. Those are like spirit hours. Those are the hours when the veil is very thin. And so I just had this epiphany, like, what is the real reason why you have not been consistent in speaking? What is the real reason why you haven't been consistent in showing up? And once I asked myself that, I really understood that the reason why I wasn't showing up consistently had to do with my image, right? It had to do with all of the limitations I had placed on myself, as far as having a perfect mic, having a perfect background, having, like, all of these things where I felt that I wouldn't be successful if I didn't have it. And so it stopped me so many times from being consistent. And another part has to do with, like, life, right? Like, life experiences, different things coming up that, put me in position to where the ideal environment wasn't good for me, right? I wasn't confident enough in myself to be able to speak wherever I'm at, right? Like, I wasn't confident enough in myself to speak inside of other people's homes and different things, right? So that night I realized I don't need to have the video, right? Like, I decided for myself I didn't need to have the video, and that was the click to get me going. That the next day, I created the Alchemy Soul podcast. If you all don't know about the Alchemy Soul podcast, you can check the description below for the podcast link. And I was like, I don't have to be in front of a camera right now. All I need is my voice. And the thing about it is that Spirit had been pushing me into this purpose the entire time, right? I remember in 2019 when I first sat down and created a long form content video. I still have the video and I look so young. I was a baby, but I remember being so like excited. So my voice was just so different, even. Like I'm gonna see if I'm able to insert it. I'm not sure because it was in 2019, but if I can insert it, I'm gonna insert it. But I remember at that very moment in time in 2019, I was like, I have something to say. I have some things to say. And the thing about it was that there were people who were telling me about the things that I was saying and how valuable it was for them and to them. And it's so funny because a lot of times people see us way before we are able to see ourselves, right? And if you have good people, in your life, you will be able to feel safe in being, in your authentic truth as you continue to grow within whatever gift or talent you may have. And I'm not sure if you all can hear me very clearly. I hope that you can. But I'm still in Medellin, Colombia, and it's noisy. It's very noisy. But that's just a side note. But I remember thinking to myself, and I remember actually speaking on that very first episode about my whole experience and how everything up until that point had been leading me to this very moment in time. And it was like I kept getting the same lesson after lesson after lesson. And then it was like I couldn't let go of the fact that I'm probably not meant to work a traditional 9 to 5. Like I spent the entire 6 years or so, like still applying for traditional work. Although I was able to do like contracts here and there, it still was never like a stabilizing thing like along the way. And so along from 2019 all the way up until 2026, I was trying to get like a stable 9 to 5. And so after that happened to me, 2 weeks, and I didn't even do nothing wrong, the message was like clear as day, right? And I'm telling you all this story because I know that there are some people that are out there who are so afraid to be seen, right? There are some people who are out there who have gifts, who has, there are people that are out there who have gifts, talents, and a purpose that is meant to be spread out into the universe, right? And when you are in a space where you are so fearful of being seen that you allow it to stunt your growth, it can become painful, right? For me, that energy was just harbored inside of me. I talk a lot and I've spoken a lot about the fact that I think that everybody is a teacher and a student, right? So if I'm learning all of this information, I'm gathering this information, I'm healing, I'm gathering the wisdom, I'm gathering the knowledge, it is my duty and my responsibility to put that back out into the universe. So what I felt was occurring for me was like I had gathered all of this information, all of this energy, I have all of this stuff that I want to talk about, that I want to share, and I was so fearful of being seen that it just it just became too much. It became too much and it became very painful because I wasn't allowing myself to be seen because of me wanting to be perfect, or me wanting everything to be perfect. And for me, once I started speaking, right, I'm currently on a 365-day long form content challenge. But once I started speaking, I understood like everything that had occurred up until that point, and why I had to go through so many like quote unquote hardships to get me to the point of actually speaking. And where I am at with it now is that no matter what, I always have to show up, right? There's a reason why I am doing a 365-day long form content challenge. It is because I am building a muscle. I am building a muscle to say that my purpose is to be a speaker. My purpose is to help people heal and help people remember who they are through my communication. I'm also an author, so not only through my voice, but also through what I write. This specific message is about purpose, right? I know that it may seem daunting to allow yourself to be seen. For me, a lot of my not wanting to be seen reflected around me thinking that other people would perceive me as not knowing, not having the knowledge, and me thinking that people would perceive me as being egotistical, me thinking that people would perceive me as being too esoteric, too like woo woo. You know what I'm saying? And I am like, and so the thing about it is that where I'm at with it now is that I can't stay on the surface, right? Like I have to allow myself to go deep, right? Because that is who I am, and this whole experience is about me being authentic and true to me, right? As much as I can be authentic, the better it can be, because it will align me with the people, the opportunities, and the circumstances that are right for me. And so, as I continue to speak and as I continue to walk in my purpose, I am learning to allow myself to be seen and to let go of the limiting beliefs that kept me in a box. And so, if I could, give you all any like words of advice, is you have knowledge, you have wisdom, you have a gift, and you have some purpose that you are meant to give to the universe. You have to remove yourself from the equation, right? Take self out of the equation. I'm big on self, right? Like I'm a really selfish person, right? But if you take yourself out of the equation for a moment and look at the collective energy, you will know and you will understand that if you move in that energy and if you move in that purpose, you will always be supported. And from 2019 to 2026, up until this very moment in time, I kid you not, I've worked, I'm a therapist, so I've also, I've worked as a therapist and have taken contracts, which is not always consistent, right? But even like over the course from 2019 up until the very moment in time, I haven't had that security, that job security, right? Like I haven't had it. But listen to me, when I tell you that I have been supported way more than like you would even imagine, right? Like I had a whole house with brand new furniture, and like I had a car that was paid off. Like I had two cars that was paid off over the course of the year. When I tell you that when you move in purpose and move in the things that you want to do, you are going to build a sort of confidence and trust in the process, right? This morning I was kind of beating up on myself because I feel like things are not moving and expanding in the way that I want them to grow and expand. However, I had to remind myself that I'm in motion and that I'm actually doing it. And I'm doing a lot more than I was doing before, right? And I have to allow time to catch up, right, to who I am presenting myself to be now, right? I have to allow the algorithm to catch up to who I'm presenting myself to be now. And so, with that being said, like I can't, just because I'm not getting the desired results today that I want to get, I can't allow that to withdraw me from living in my purpose, right? Because God, my ancestors, my spirit guides, my team, they have solidified in me a level of trust, a level of like expansion. Like I just know my life is meant to be big, right? And if I have that as my belief, then I have to allow things to work out in the way they are supposed to work out. And so that's all I got for y'all today. I hope that you enjoyed that message. It was a lot of little gems here and there within that message. I heard it. I'm gonna have to play this one back for myself. But if you resonated with anything that I spoke about today, please be sure to leave it in the comments. I look forward to, reading what you all took away. And also, if you just want to support, go ahead and leave me a white heart in the comments. I am trying to grow. I'm trying to expand this channel, and your support will, be greatly appreciated. I didn't introduce myself. I am Marquita. I'm still learning. I'm still learning. I am Marquita. I am a spiritual coach. I am an author. And also, I am the host of the Alchemy Soul podcast. So if you're interested in the podcast, please be sure to check the description for the link. And I will see y'all back here tomorrow. I will see y'all back here tomorrow. Peace, love, and light, beautiful souls.